Hey everyone, it's Maggie Rose back with another video for you. Today I'm going to be talking about something that's been on my mind recently, which is 5 truths about being a stay-at-home mom and things that people necessarily don't tell you. I don't know, I felt like this is on my mind recently just because I've had a couple rough days in the past few weeks, just struggling with different aspects of being a stay-at-home mom. I don't know what it's like being a working mom, so I'm not going to speak to that because I don't know what that's like. So this is going to be a video just about being a stay-at-home mom and 5 things that I didn't know about it, or 5 things that I've learned. So let's get into it. So the first thing is people will judge you. And I know that some people have heard this before, but I'm not talking like broad spectrum judging you for being a stay-at-home mom. I'm talking about things within being a stay-at-home mom you get judged for. Not everybody does, but some people do. And some people judge you for different things about being a stay-at-home mom, and this is one of them. Like, some people just assume that you work part-time outside of the house, or you are making money from home in some way, which would be nice in an ideal world, but some people just don't have that luxury, or it's just not feasible for them. Like for Hunter and I, it just doesn't make sense right now being pregnant and then I'd have to go on maternity leave again, so there's really no point in me getting a job just to quit the job whenever the new baby gets here, and life will be crazy then. So it's just not feasible for us, but I do get some people who just kind of assume that I make money at home somehow, which I hope to one day make money from this YouTube channel, but it's not happening right now. So I guess I kind of am working part-time, but I'm not getting paid for it, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping that the work that I put into this YouTube channel will pay off one day and I'll make some sort of income on the side. But again, it's not necessary when you're staying at home to work part-time. So I just think that that's interesting that people just assume that you make some sort of money on the side for your family. I don't know, that's just kind of odd to me. Another thing people would judge you about is homeschooling. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, some people just assume that you're going to homeschool or think that you should homeschool, and that's a big one. Like, that's a really big issue and big topic right now, and I get a lot of people who ask me if we're going to homeschool, or just kind of assume that we are going to homeschool, and we're not. Like, as of right now, Hunter and I have thought about it and prayed about it, and we're not going to be homeschooling, only because my sister is a kindergarten teacher and I see how much work she puts into teaching those kids and how much stuff that they learn in kindergarten. I don't have the energy, quite honestly, to teach my own kids how much stuff that they need to be learning on a daily basis without me going insane, you know? Like, I could maybe make myself do it, but then the house would never get clean. There would never be dinner. I don't know. I feel like some people are really good at that, and some people should homeschool. Some people just have that mindset that they can do that for their family. I'm not that person. I was never the person in school to want to become a teacher. I was never the person to enjoy, I don't know. I didn't enjoy the regular classwork in school. I enjoyed like the creativity classes, like art and band and choir and those types of things, but I never really enjoyed like math, English, science, social studies. If I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to enjoy teaching it to my kids. They're not going to enjoy learning it if I'm not going to enjoy teaching it. It's just going to be a cycle of all of us hating the time where we have to sit down and do learning classes at home. So I want it to be a good thing and a happy thing for them to learn, and I will teach them things at home, but I want the majority of their learning to come from somebody who has a passion about teaching young children. So that's why Hunter and I will most likely be sending our kids to public school. And I know that there's a lot of different opinions on that, but you never know if you're making the right decision, but we feel that it's right for our family, so that's what we are going to be doing. People also just judge and assume that your life is perfect if you're a stay-at-home mom. Like, oh, you have it all, you can stay at home. And to go along with that, people think that you have a lot of money. Oh, you're so lucky you get to stay at home because your husband makes so much money and you get to stay at home and do this and have fun and just, you have the perfect life. No, it's not like that. Like, we're making sacrifices so that I can stay home. Like, Hunter, I don't remember the last time he bought himself a a pair of pants, and it's crazy the amount of holes that are in my socks, but we just don't go and buy more because we make sacrifices so that I can stay at home. And we're not poor, we're not suffering, we just, like I said, we make sacrifices for our family, and some of them are financial sacrifices and others are like emotional sacrifices, but it's definitely not the perfect life. I definitely love being a stay-at-home mom, but I don't want people to get the idea that we are living some perfect life and we have everything in the world and we never are in want for anything because we are parents that are able to have somebody stay at home with our child during the day. Don't get me wrong, I do feel blessed and I feel very grateful that I can stay at home, but I don't like it when people just assume that we have everything and we have unlimited amounts of money. I just wanted to throw that out there and correct anybody who thinks that my life is perfect, because it's not. It's honestly not perfect, but I don't want everybody else to like just assume that we have this fairy tale life when we do have hard times just like everybody else. So that was a lot for number one. I'm sorry, but number two is you will miss adult conversation. Spending time with little kids, and right now I only have one, but I have one on the way, so soon I will just be talking to a toddler and a baby. Right now I'm only talking to like, I don't know, what is a 1-year-old? A toddler or a baby? I don't even know. But I'm talking to a 1-year-old all day, and talking to this camera right now is actually really nice because I'm using adult conversation. Sometimes I forget to do that, and I remember when Aria was about 6 months old, maybe a little younger, I would just stay at home with her and make faces at her, and we went out with Hunter's family, and I looked at Hunter's sister and I was like, it was the weirdest thing because she's a teenager and I was making a weird face at her so she would smile. I don't know, it was very strange. It was an odd moment for me. That's when I realized that I need some more adult conversation in my life. But that's hard too, like you don't get time to talk to coworkers or anything. That's a little difficult. Like you'll just want to start talking to random people all the time. You'll make conversations with people that you meet at Target or Walmart. You'll talk all the time and nonstop to your family members, probably to the point that they're annoyed with you. I mean, I would assume that my family might get annoyed with me because I talk so much when I'm with them now, but that's how it is. Like you just want to talk to every and any adult that you find, especially if you find like a mom in the store, you can kind of relate to them. You're like, oh, I get it. I don't know. I just really miss adult conversation, especially coming from somebody who is an extrovert, and I loved my jobs. I worked at Starbucks and a bank and a hair salon, and all of those jobs, you just talk to many, many, many people all day long, and I loved it. So it's very strange for me to go from talking to like hundreds of people a day to no one except a baby. That is a very hard transition for me, and I'm starting to get better at like making plans with friends and things, but it's difficult for me to not have that adult conversation. That's really difficult. Number 3 is you will soon find out what your most comfortable and favorite outfits are, and you will wear them on a rotation. There's some clothes in my closet that aren't the comfiest, but they're cute, and I don't remember the last time I wore them anymore. Now that you're staying at home, you don't really have anybody to impress. I mean, unless you go out, like you're going to the grocery store or something, I do tend to wear more nice things, I guess. But when you're at home by yourself, you just wear the same thing a lot. There's a pair of pants that I wear literally every day until they're in the washing machine. It's kind of sad and it makes me feel kind of gross sometimes just wearing the same thing nonstop, but that's just how life is sometimes when you're a stay-at-home mom. You just kind of get into this groove of being comfortable and you just wear the same things over and over and over again. I don't know. I mean, when you're working, I guess you get tired of dressing up, but when you're at home, you get tired of not being able to dress up or not having the opportunity to dress up. So I get very excited on Sundays when I go to church and I can wear something that looks nice. Number 4 is you will probably go stir crazy, especially in the winter time. It's actually getting a lot better for me now that the sun is out and the weather is getting nicer, but in the winter time, it was really, really hard for me to stay sane sometimes, just with being in the same house day in and day out, not going outside because it's too much of a hassle to get Aria in the car and out of the car and to someone's house or someone over here. It's just, okay, it's hard to put into words, but when you're in a place where you're just comfortable at staying at home, even if you're needing conversation or you're needing people to come over or you're needing to get out of the house, whenever you've done the same thing over and over again, you just kind of get into this rut of like being comfortable, but you're not comfortable. It's really hard to explain, and I know this is going to sound confusing, but in the winter, like all I wanted to do was to get out of the house, but I couldn't make myself get out of the house. It just made the winter months, sometimes I felt a little depressed, honestly, just not being able to do anything for myself and being stuck in the house and not going out, and a lot of that is my own fault for not doing things, but again, I was just thinking that it was not convenient for me, but I just needed to get out of the house anyway. So I suggest to you that if you're going through a similar situation where you want to get out of the house but you can't make yourself, just try really, really hard to just invite somebody over first, and then you'll enjoy it, and then you'll maybe be able to take the next step and go somewhere. I don't know why that's so hard for some people, and it was really hard for me in the winter time just to get myself out of the house. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but I was just too comfortable staying at home that I just wanted to stay at home, even though sometimes staying at home made me unhappy because I had no one to talk to other than Aria, and I started to go stir crazy and I didn't know what to do with myself, and I would be in a place where I had a lot of work to do on the house but none of it would get done just because I was thinking about it, and I would go on this spiral of thinking about everything too much that all I wanted to do is just cry and sit, and it was just not a good situation. So yeah, sometimes you go a little stir crazy, and I don't mean this video to be depressing in any way for anyone who's thinking about being a stay-at-home mom, but I just want you to know the realities of it. But that leads me to number 5. Number 5 is that you'll realize that it is one of the best jobs in the world to have. Given everything that I had just said about like people judging you, missing adult conversation, wearing the same clothes over and over again, going stir crazy, all of that being said, you will have an amazing time watching your children grow and learn, and knowing that you're the one who can see it all happen. Anything new, you're there for it, which is really nice. And another bonus for being a stay-at-home mom is that when your babies nap, which doesn't always happen, by the way. A lot of people think that nap time is free time for stay-at-home moms. It's not, to be honest, because that's when you get stuff done. But sometimes nap times don't even happen. That's another venting side story. But anyway, during nap time, sometimes you will have time to take your own little nap. I just took a 20-minute nap because your girl's pregnant and tired. Like tired all the time. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I was working. So there are some definite pluses of being a stay-at-home mom in that respect, and being able to like watch a TV show if you're finished doing your chore for that day or something. And so that I definitely don't want to take this job for granted. It is a job. It is a job, but I definitely don't want to take it for granted. I love every day of it, and I'm so blessed and so thankful that I can stay at home with Aria and this little baby on the way. I just want to say again that through everything that I had mentioned, I do love it. I love being a stay-at-home mom. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I did want to put it out there that there are things about being a stay-at-home mom that nobody really talks about because they don't want to come across as ungrateful. So I hope that you didn't get that from this video, because I am grateful, but I just wanted to put it out there because not a lot of people talk about these things, and I feel like I would have appreciated watching a video like this before I became a stay-at-home mom myself. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up for me, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already, and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever I post a new video. Have a great day, have a great week, keep smiling, and keep finding the joy. Thanks guys, bye. This is good. YoPlay, can you sponsor this video? Because this is really good. And I could use the money.
Do you wanna